Y'all ready to blaze away or what?
We finally had some nerfs after this emergency patch, and I already see people asking for new buffs or say the nerfs were not deserved. We really be living in a world full of down players now. Here's King J, who's asking, are people really upset with heat engagers being +9 now? Someone says they listened. Heat engage only +9. Thank you, Bamco. Shadow says that actually sucks. +17 was fine. Blackheart says, bro, do you ever have a good take now? Genuinely asking. Seeing people mourn the loss of easy offense on a timeline today. It might have been a good patch. Tekken players really be out here crying because something's too powerful. And then as soon as it gets nerfed, there will be a second wave of players who wake up and say, no, this is the only change I do not like. I was fine with the once around 50-50 from Heat. Feel like characters like Jin and Leroy will benefit too much from this. Clive at least won't launch you. Yeah, that's the thing, right? Why would you be okay with a once per round force 50-50? The force 50-50s are bad. Shouldn't you remove it entirely? Why would you be okay with one very strong force 50-50? Some people are unsure how different being -9 versus -17. Of course, -9, you're still in an unfavorable situation, but defensive options are more consistent and less risk. I am interested to see how this affects Yoshimitsu, because Yoshimitsu is a character who has bad tracking and he also has slow attacks. With the +17, I was able to use a lot of those slow linear attacks to lock you in place. And I wonder what I will have to do now to keep you in place, to keep you in check. It will be interesting to experiment with. Like, I don't look at this like, Yoshimitsu can't force pressure anymore. The opponent can move. I don't look at that as like a bad thing. That's how Tekken is supposed to be. Tekken is supposed to be a game where the opponent can move. You're supposed to be able to defend yourself. If you're complaining about that, then you really don't like Tekken. This is Jun Kazama's attack that can be evaded. Looks like it's pretty effortlessly. Oh, these are all of Jun Kazama's attacks. These are all of her attacks being evaded so effortlessly. Looking at this, it makes me so happy. I don't even think this was a move that you could sidestep in Tekken 7, but look at this Lydia one. You can sidestep out of that bad boy. People are about to get lit up online. He silently gets up and walks away. Now, he did respond to this and he said, I will say this is definitely an overreaction. At the time, I did not test sidestep right super effective. On the topic of FDX, going away for mid-May patch before making any big competitive decisions. I really enjoyed playing a ton of Tekken at the end of season 1, and I'm just sad I don't have that game to grind anymore. Look at Mike Hollow. It leaves a lot to be desired, but it's an emergency patch, so I suspect the major overhaul will be the next patch or in several patches to come. Overall, it's okay. There's a lot of character adjustments that weren't good enough, and the game is still largely going to be extremely oppressive. However, it's a baby step in the right direction. I'm going to keep it on the shelf for now, but I'm interested to see what they do next. So Mike Hollow's still tapped out as well. He's not playing it. I played a lot of Tekken 8 today. In conclusion, Tekken 8 Season 2 ended in 2 weeks, and it feels like Season 3 started today. This person says, no way y'all are mad about the opponents being -9 after heat engagers. Surely I'm not seeing that. Me, bro, when I look at this, I say that's what the Steve Fox get. The Steve Fox just wildly threw himself at the opponent and he paid the price. Tekken 8 is the anomaly where it allows this sloppy, brainless gameplay to succeed. In past Tekkens, you can't do that. You can't just throw yourself at the opponent and the opponent dies. It's crazy how people kind of forgot that. People were so used to, like, just bullying their opponent. Now that their opponent has any ounces of like fighting back, it's like, the horror. Despite the initial season 2 flop, the current patch feels very good to me. I've only played a few matches, but definitely like this. Even better than season 1. Yeah, so you can sidestep it and you can interrupt it now. So they fixed this jack move completely. It was crazy how this move even like tracked, right? Look at this. This is before the update. Look at how crazy this chip is. But what's even crazier is after. So that's like your whole health bar basically, right? But this one is pretty interesting because it's still a lot. -1, so maybe you can fight back right there. And then what is this one from High Buff Gigas? High Buff Gigas does great work. Some players are upset that you now have the ability to fight back, that you can parry, that you can step, that they can't just force you. But see, this is the thing. Isn't this what people didn't like about Tekken 8 is that Tekken 8 put you in these situations where you're forced to guess. Now that the developers have made it to where you're not forced to guess and you can use your movement and your, reaction skills to counter. Now that's like, people don't like it. You should have to earn that mix up. You should have to earn that guess. You see all these moves that the characters are doing? They're just throwing themselves at the opponent. And in the past, you would have to guess and there would be nothing you could do to stop it. Now, you have to actually think about, okay, how am I going to attack them? What are they going to do? And, let me weigh my odds. Like, it's different. You have to think now. Before, you used to be able to get a huge, look at that, off the heat smash. I hated that move. And the same thing with Kuma. You're just punished so hard. You're punished. And then now it's not that case anymore. It says, I used to think that it was all right until they added a full crouch mix-ups, but +9 is literally still good, even better than +17 from less stressful standpoint. I think what we're witnessing is players realizing that a lot of their broken garbage no longer works, and they're going to have to start playing smaller and more methodical. Having that instant switch is harsh for the people who relied on it. The people who relied on all that fake pressure, now they're going to struggle early on. But I think people will adapt. I don't think the developers should pull this back. Oh, actually, on the topic of revert the update, this is Facebook Tekken. Harada, please revert the emergency patch. I don't want to go back to warrior rank when the updates are finished. This is the most fun I ever had in Tekken ever. Do not be swayed by these whiny brats who don't understand your vision like some of us. They're just not as good as they think because they failed to adapt. Please do not send the patches. I don't want to be stuck in the basement anymore. I'm thriving in purple with the big dogs. This has to be a troll post. Calling everyone else bad, but then acknowledging 100% that they're carried by all of this garbage. That's the thing too. I'm in purple. Bros in purple living the best life ever. The fact that there are some people that dislike the heat engager, wall crush nerfs, or other nerfs is like saying they'd rather their opponent have barely any defense counterplay in those situations, when I'm sure it's what's most wanted in the first place. Adapt or sit down. Saying that you dislike it going from +17 to +9, you're basically saying that you don't want your opponent to have any opportunity to fight back. Remember I was trying to find that video where the guy was talking about it was Corey, and he was talking about how badly do people want to win. If your controller had a automatic win button, you press that button and you automatically win a round. How many people would press that button? It seems like everyone who's complaining about the +17 being gone and their opponent now has the ability to fight back, it seems like a lot of those people would button mash that win button. Every single time, win, because that's what it is. +17, you have no chances to survive, and you just win. Now that players can sidestep everyone's crying, all you got to do to defeat a sidestep is change your timing or do tracking moves. Now, Yoshimitsu doesn't have the best tracking move, but there's some characters out there like a Kazuya, down 4-2. You down 4-2 and they try to sidestep and press some garbage, you're going to kill them. So I just think it's interesting that players would rather have a god tool that their opponent cannot stop just so they can win. Osan, his first tweet, I really like changes. More I can play, focus, and even first to 2, it's fun. I think Tekken team needs testers before a new update and take feedback. I hope Tekken can communicate more with players after today. We love Tekken. Heat Smash, the Yoshimitsu, tech rolls, he catches them right there, and then boom, resplat. I don't like that. Screwed. And then this Lars does this move, and then look at this, Lars turned that direction. So that's one bug there. You have the Jack doing a spring kick off the ground, grabbing Raven, breaking the, look at the damage on that break. That's terrifying. Look at that. Look at the ground. Look at that. He was on the ground. He reset him. That I just see. That's what I'm talking about. I don't like how you can screw someone from the ground. This doesn't create a wall stagger, huh? No wall stagger. Bro, Yoshimitsu probably is going to tear people up with the flash. You have the ability to sidestep. If you have the ability to sidestep, you also have the ability to flash. And Yoshimitsu is going to be flashing like crazy. Removing wall stackers and heat gauges being +9 are awesome changes. Overall, 200 buff is necessary for Tekken 8 interactions that much. However, the game is going to feel around the same until they nerf combo damage. Eddie has pressured the wall, and he does, I think that's a heat smash, and Danina gets up on the other side and still gets hit. She still gets hit. I'm having fun not playing Tekken 8, but trying it on occasion to see if they fix it and to see if I still feel the same way. I don't know. I try to give Tekken 8 a shot, but it's like I play it and I'm really just not interested. I don't know. I'll be giving this game a shot, but when I play it, I just don't feel that same level of like commitment, like passion. Like, is the Tekken era over for me? Moon, don't say that. I mean, I'm trying to like find my passion for playing this game, but it just isn't there. I hate how Clive can always hit you and you can never hit him. You know, it wasn't even fair that you couldn't hit him. It's literally like built into the character to where like his moves push you back perfectly to where you can't hit him. It's not even the Clive player doing anything. It's literally the developers made it to where his moves pushes you back just further enough to where you can't hit him, but if you press a button, he can whiff punish you. And that's so deceptive, bro. I'm not playing against that. The person who's playing Clive, if they play another character who doesn't do that, they lose. But since they're playing Clive, they win. It's like, that's like, what? I'm not playing that. You're using a OP character? I don't think you have heard, bro, but Yoshimitsu got destroyed in season 2. Guessing.